everyone, I'm Allie Buckman with the Potomac Bead Company, and I am excited today to make another one of the contest winners for you. As you watch this video, you get to watch the cool design created by Eva Rushton, who is a designer that won one of our challenge winner positions, and it really uses all of the different Potomac Bead Company products. Eva's design here is called On the Edge, which has the AVA beads kind of coming out, and it's a project that we'll be working with 2 needles. If you need any of the materials for the video, you can go back to go to underneath the video, which has the date stamp that the video was produced, and we'll put links there. Also in the top right hand corner, there's a little I, which is information from us, the video creators, to give you links to do all your purchasing if you need to and gather the materials to do this On the Edge bracelet. So the bracelet here uses a bunch of our exclusive products from the design challenge. It uses the AVA beads, the RounTrio, the RounDuo, the DiscDuo, the 2x3mm Potomac Crystal Rondelles, and a cup button. In addition to that, we have 2 different colors of 11O seed beads that we'll throw in and work with. For the AVA beads, I'll be using a vintage copper color, and you'll need approximately 20 to 22 of the AVA beads. In addition to the AVA beads, the DiscDuos there along the center are going to be in that crystal sunset fool, and I used 11 of the DiscDuo beads. So you need about 20 to 22 of your AVA beads, and then you're going to use about 11 to 13 of the DiscDuo beads. On the sides of those DiscDuo beads are going to be the opaque yellow Picasso, and that mustardy yellow Picasso RounDuo bead, you're going to be using about 22 to 26 of them. In addition to the RounDuo, there's a RounTrio hidden under there, that green color. And the RounTrio is the jet red luster. And I know you're saying, but it's green. Jet red luster is the coating in the powder, and when it goes onto the jet base, it creates that green color. So the jet red luster is that nice green. And you're putting 1 in between every one of your AVA beads. So if you need 20 AVA beads, you're going to use 20 of your RounTrio beads. If your wrist is bigger than 6.5 to 6 3/4, you're probably going to need 2 more, and then plus 2 more of that if you want to make it a little bit bigger. In addition to those, I have the Garnet AB 2x3mm Rondelles, which are the Potomac Crystal Rondelles, and you're going to X those back and forth the top of Eva's design. Other than that, we're just using some 11O seed beads. And the 11O seed beads that I've chosen to use are the Galvanized Dark Mauve. When I flip the bracelet over, which, ta-da, it can be reversible, you are going to be using that along the base and also for the clasp. In addition to that dark mauve, I also have the metallic green luster 11O, and the green metallic iris 11O here that we're using is that nice kind of green and has a little bit of hints of blue to pick up that jet red luster RounTrio along the bottom. Like I said before, it is 2 needles, so we are using size 12 English beading needles. And in addition to our needles, we have some wildfire beading thread. 0.006 in the green color is what you will be using to create the On the Edge bracelet. The whole thing is held together with a cup button, and this is the Topaz Picasso, and it blends really, really nicely with that Picasso of the RounDuo bead as well. To get started, we want about 5 feet of beading thread with 2 needles on either end of the beading thread. You can grab your thread burner. I always like to have handy with me because I am using my thread burner, and also a needle nose pliers in order to flatten out the thread to make it nice and flat, which is going to get it easier to put the needle on the end of the thread. From there, I like to have a nice workable surface, a nice clean surface, a bead on it board or a bead mat to lay everything out of to get my party started. We are going to be doing the base of the bracelet first, so I want you to have that thread, and we're going to be doing kind of that crisscross action going through the RounDuo, or the RounTrio rather, and the DiscDuo. So go ahead and get out the DiscDuo and the RounTrio, and we'll get ready to build the base. Have a cup button ready and a little crystal also, so we can get that baseline started, add the clasp at the start, and then as we build, we'll come back and build the layers on. So go ahead, burn your thread off, get about 5 feet, a needle on each end, and we'll get ready to make Eva's creation. So to start, we have both needles on our one piece of 5-foot thread. On there, we're going to begin by putting our cup button. On the sides of our cup button, we're going to decorate it on the inside with an 11, our 2x3mm crystal, and another 11 seed bead. From there, grab your cup button, and your cup button is going to go dome face down, the needle through one hole, and then a needle through the other hole. Pull your needles at the same time to make sure that you get to the bottom of your thread and that you still have equal amounts of thread on either side. From here, we're going to start our baseline. To get to the baseline, add 3 of your 11 seed beads on either needle. And let those drop down to the cup button. We're now going to begin with our RounDuo, and the pattern is going to be the same for that baseline. The RounDuo, every time we go through it, we're going to take one needle through the first hole from right to left, and the other needle through the first hole from left to right. Again, pull equal distance, making sure that you're still in the middle of your thread. From here on the sides of the DiscDuo, you're going to have a pattern of 1 11, 1 RounDuo, 1 11. This thread then is going to go from the right hand side to the left hand side of the second hole of the DiscDuo. That's going to pop that RounDuo off to the side. Same thing whenever you're working with 2 needles, we're going to repeat that on the left. When you're picking up these RounDuos, it doesn't matter which hole you're going through, since whatever hole you string through is going to become the bottom hole. From there, give a nice tight pull, making sure that no extra thread is showing along the DiscDuos or along the RounDuos at its side. From here, we're going to add our RounTrios in. The RounTrios, again, we're going to go through one hole, and we're going to make sure that we go through an outer hole. There's 3 holes on the trios. Add 2 11 seed beads through an outer hole of the RounTrio, and 2 more 11s. Again, with that symmetry, we do it with the right needle, and then we're going to do the same thing with the left needle. 2 11s, 1 trio, 2 11s. From here, we're going to pick up our next DiscDuo and repeat our pattern. The DiscDuo goes on with the right needle going through the first hole, coming out towards the left. Left needle, first hole, coming out towards the right. Pull your thread. And make sure that baseline lays nice and tight. From here, then we're going to repeat with our RounDuos on the outer edge, adding an 11, a RounDuo, and an 11, taking that thread and needle through the second hole of the DiscDuo, the needle that's on the right going through the second hole towards the left. Grabbing the left needle, 11, RounDuo 11. Oops, let's jump out there. And then we're going to sew through the same hole, that top hole of the DiscDuo, the opposite direction. This baseline is done the whole length of the project. So we're going to continue with this baseline, running the whole length of the project, adding in the RounDuos on the sides of the DiscDuos and hanging the RounTrios through one of the outer holes along the sides. Continue this step for about 7 inches, then we'll do our loop and we'll do our first crossover along the middle, adding in some of our crystals. Once you have your 10 to 12 DiscDuos in place, we're going to make the loop for our cup button to sit in. The loop for the cup button is going to be made with our 11 O's in this dark brown color. Put on 2 11s on both the right and the left needle. We're going to grab one more of our crystals, And this time with the crystal, we're going to crisscross through it, just like we've been doing with our DiscDuos. One needle goes through from right to left, and the other from left to right. That's going to make a little bit of a V on top of the cup button, which is what our loop is going to sit inside of. For our loop now, we're going to put on about 28 or so 11/0 seed beads. Doesn't matter whether or not you're using your right needle or your left needle. You're just going to load it up with your seed beads. We have this dark mauve color going on. You can choose to do it on either of your 11/0 colors. It doesn't really matter. On her design, Eva actually used a faceted button rather than the cup button. If you are using a faceted button, you're going to need about 34 seed beads. Once you have the seed beads on, we're going to spin them around into a loop. To do so, the needle that's in your hand is going to go from one side of the crystal to the other side and in. That makes the loop. Pick up the other thread. We're going to reinforce the loop by going the opposite way. So we're going to go through all of those seed beads again, which is going to put a second layer of thread in to reinforce. And if you want to, it's up to you. When we come back down again, you can actually put another thread in between if you want to get 3 to 4 in between, 4 threads underneath the seed beads. If you are using a regular clasp too, you would put on the other end of the clasp right now, just like you would have put the cup button on regularly. All right, so once you have the threads through there, give a nice tight pull, making sure that there's no extra thread showing. Just double check yourself, make sure that your cup button is going to fit inside your thread. And now it's time to get to the top of the bracelet. So for the top of the bracelet, we're going to switch out our 11/0 color, and you're going to get ready with your crystals to make your nice X that sits on the top. We're not going to be going through the trios at all until we come back down and add our Avas in. So we're just going to be concentrating on folding the RounDuos up with that DiscDuo kind of centered in the middle and connecting the holes of the DiscDuo crisscrossing with our crystals. To get to the outer edge, I want you to grab 3 11/0s with your right needle and sew through the second hole of the RounDuo bead on both sides. So I'm going to sew through, and that's going to get me in position then to start doing the X along the top of this bracelet. So from here, I'm going to get my crystals, lay them out in a little pile, and my secondary seed bead 11/0 color, and get ready to start creating the X. So from here, we have our green metallic 11/0 seed bead, and we are going to come down the front of the project. I'm going to turn it so it's kind of facing up so you can see both needles in progression. With my first needle, we are going to be doing a crisscross. We're going to take 1/11, one of our crystals, and 1/11 on our right needle. Likewise, 1/11, one of our crystals, 1/11. From here, let those fall down next to the project. And now it's time to pick up another crystal. The third crystal that you pick up, just like we did with the loop clasp here, one needle is going to go from right to left. The other crisscrosses through that crystal from left to right. Give a nice tight pull, and that's going to bring those RounDuos right along and up to the top. From here, another 11 crystal 11 will get added on the right needle. Then you're going to pick up the next RounDuo, not trio, RounDuo, and sew through the second hole. That'll create a little bit of a bump up or a little bit of a curvature as those two grab. What's going to happen then is the RounTrio is going to kind of stick out to the side. From here, left side gets repeated, 11 crystal 11, pick up the next of your RounDuo beads. and give a nice tight pull. So that crisscross action there is going to happen right along the top. Again, the trios are going to go along the sides, and then as you get back and get ready to add in your copper Avas, they're just going to push out right along the side like that. So as we come out of the round duos again, and this is going to, like I said, cause some curvature, we're going to get an 11, crystal, 11, crystal, 11, crystal, 11. So I'm getting 3 of them on the needle while I have it. From here, I'm going to take the needle that's on the right hand side and cross over to the round duo on the left hand side. This is going to save me one little step. Now, taking the needle on the left, crystal with the 11s on either side, go back to the middle crystal of that grouping of 3 and sew back through it down towards the loop. After that, add another 11, crystal, 11 on your needle, and pick up the next round duo bead. Give a nice tight pull to pull that in and start that bracelet curvature. And you can see now, as I pick it up and get that second one in, you can start to see the level that is starting to happen to get it that two-dimensional, that the crystals are going to sit right along the top. And then as we add the Ava beads, the round trios will actually sit down a little bit. So continue going through the top, adding in your crisscrossing crystals the whole way back to the cup button. So once you have that top Xing effect going on, you'll notice again that that bracelet does shrink up a tiny bit, about a ½ an inch to a ¼ of an inch on that. So if it fit exactly when you had those disc duos on, remember, add 1 extra disc duo. From here, we are going to progress and reinforce the cup button, and then we're going to come back down and add our Ava beads in. To get the cup button reinforced and to get to the baseline, because we want to come out on our round trio, since we're done with the round duos at this point, you're going to take your needle and thread back to that burgundy color, put 3 on, just like we did on the other side, bend the cup button back a little bit, and you're going to string into the first 2 beads before the cup button, reinforce going through the seed bead, the crystal, the seed bead, and down to the back side of the cup button through those 3 beads on the sides of it. And then bring your needle out. Again, it's once you do one side, you're doing the exact same thing to the other side. So again, 3 seed beads. From there, go up through the 2 seed beads before the cup button. And obviously this is going to be on the opposite side since we're on the opposite side of the needle. Up through the cup button, down through the cup button, and down through that set of 3 beads, coming out before the disc duo. At this point now, you're going to get ready to add in your Ava beads. As we add in the Ava beads, we're also going to be doing the seed beads along the edge. To do the seed beads along the edge, you're going to get out whichever color you wanted to use along that edge. So whether or not you want to use that dark mauve or whether or not you want to use the metallic green, that's kind of up to you. Either color would work. I'm going to be using the green color to make it stand out a little bit against that vintage copper. So go ahead and get your Ava beads ready. Get your 11-0 seed beads out, and we'll get ready to put in our last step of our bracelet. Getting the thread and needle into place, you want to be coming out the first hole of your round duo. I did it here with the needle on the left-hand side so you could see, and we're going to do the same thing with the right. To take and get it to there, you're going to take that needle and thread, go through the 11-0 on the side of that round duo bead, which is right there in between the disc duo. If you have trouble getting into that, you can bring your thread to the back, flip it over, go through the 11-0, and that first hole of the round duo bead. That's going to bring us out closer to the baseline and get us ready for our first Ava bead. The AVA beads are going to sit right on the outer hole of the RounTrio bead. To get there, you're going to add an 11-0, go through the first leg hole of the AVA bead, go through the outer hole of the RounTrio. It's going to pull the AVA down right there. Go through the second hole of the leg of the AVA bead. Give a nice little tight pull, and that's going to pull the AVA beads right along the base there. From here, we're going to circle around the AVA bead, reinforcing it and adding our seed beads along the side. To add our seed beads, take 4 11-0s, sew through the top hole of the AVA bead, give a nice tight pull, 4 more seed beads go on, then we're going to sew through the bottom hole, the RounTrio, and the bottom hole, so straight through those 3 holes along the base. When you're exiting out now, it's time to put on our next AVA bead. Before each AVA bead, we're going to put an 11-0. We then repeat the steps going through the base line of the AVA, the outer hole of the RounTrio, the base line or the base hole of the other leg of the AVA bead, and then we're going to go up the AVA bead just like we did previously, going in and adding our 4 of our 11-0 seed beads along the sides of the AVAs, circling around and coming straight down the right side here. As you go ahead and come down the left side as well, adding in those AVA beads on the edge. So here at the end, I've come down both the left and the right sides with my seed beads in between and my AVA beads. If you want to, there's space here to put some of your 2 by 3 millimeter crystals. They kind of poke out then from behind the RounDuo, which is what Eva did. If you want to, you can add those in. The other suggestion is that you could add them in here on the sides of the RounDuo beads connecting to the AVA beads coming back down. I'm going to keep it really simple, and we're going to reinforce the loop clasp and finish off the bracelet. So here at the end, I'm coming out the last AVA bead, and what I'm going to do is attach to the bottom or the base hole of the RounDuo there. To do so, I'm going to add 3 of my 11-0s to my base needle and go through the last of the RounDuo beads with that right needle. So again, we're doing that with both the right and the left needle, and that's just going to have it sit right there along the base. On the left side then, same deal, we're going to add our 3 seed beads, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to sew into that bottom hole of the left side of the RounDuo bead. As we come out the left side of the RounDuo bead, what I'd like you to do is actually flip the project over, so you're going to see that DiscDuo, and the bracelet actually is quite reversible. You can see here this is a little bit more muted. It doesn't have the crystals on the top like with the flip side does. So you actually can really go from a blingy design to a more kind of neutral and a little bit more mellow design, which I actually like the back a lot too, and it goes nicely with that copper look. Here on the side then, I'm going to leave one of my needles off to the side, and obviously I had to add some extra thread. Had a little mishap with my 5-year-old burning the thread off the ends. And I am going to go up through the back of the design here. That's why I flipped it over so you can see, and I'm going to reinforce my loop. So I'm going through all of my seed beads here, around the loop, and that's going to get one more thread through the loop. And there's already quite a few, so you don't need to worry about it if you can't get it through. With the size 12 needle, you shouldn't have a problem. I'm going to take the thread the whole way around the loop, and then when I get the thread to the end here, I'm going to come down those 2 seed beads and tie off the 2 thread ends together. As I tie off the 2 thread ends together then, we will be able to finish off the bracelet completely by burning down the thread ends and getting the bracelet all finished off. Now that I have those thread ends tied off there to the back of the project, I'll take my burner and burn them down, but I just wanted to show the look of the bracelet. You can see it sits kind of nice and high with those beads kind of popping off the top there. And as well, like I said, you could reverse it and have it with those DiscDuos showing and make it more muted. Again, I want to thank Eva for her design and for the challenge winner here. And it's really great use of all of our products, so that's kind of cool. She's got the crystals, the RounDuos, the DiscDuos, the round trios and the Ava beads all in the design, as well as being finished off with a cup button. So it's a lot of fun to be able to bring these to you guys and to get a chance to kind of make other people's creations rather than sitting down and kind of coming up with everything myself. So thank you, Eva, for your design here. You can also, if you need any of the materials, go back to the beginning of the video. At the beginning of the video here, we will have the actual lead-in video, or the beginning of the video rather, we have the link to all the different products. You can check out the different products that are there and get a link to any of them if you need them. And from there then, you can get links to all of the different things that we sell online. You can also go to the bottom of the video to that little show more button. At the bottom of the video in the show more button, it'll give you links to all of the different products that you can purchase from us online as well. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching this fun tutorial of the On the Edge bracelet, and have a great time creating and making. And once again, thank you, Eva, for your beautiful design here that you've created, and I have fun making. As always, thanks so much for watching, guys. Stay connected with us at PotomacBeads.com. You can connect with us on Facebook, as well as Instagram and Pinterest. You can also join our Facebook group for beading and jewelry making. Show off what you make, get answers, and have fun learning and getting inspiration from other designers as well. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and have fun creating.